passing. Yes, it was.
Did you see him a lot?
Yes, we did. He was actually busy getting ready and getting prepared for the O2, of course.
I know.
So that was.
Where were you, Latoya, when you heard the sad news?
Well, actually, my father called me. I was at home, and I had just hung up the phone with my business partner, and he had just told me about Farah, and I said, oh my, geez, I wonder who's next, because it always happens in threes. And the next thing, my father had called me on the phone 5 minutes later and said, I need for you to rush over to the hospital immediately. And I said, what is it? And he said, your brother Michael, they took him to the hospital. He called back 5 minutes later. He says, you have to go there, you have to go there. I hear it's serious, he's in the hospital. And I got into the car and I started driving over to the hospital, and I was speaking to my mother's assistant, and I said, how is he doing? How is he doing? He would never answer me. He wouldn't answer at all. I kept saying, please, can you just tell me how he's doing? And he just wouldn't answer me. And I heard my mother in the background say, who is that? And he said, it's Latoya. And she grabbed the phone and she screamed in the phone. She just screamed to the top of her lungs. She just screamed, he's dead, as loud as she could. And that's when I heard it, and I almost crashed the car so many times trying to get there. I was only 3 minutes away, but...
The children were there when you got there, were they at the medical
When I got there, my mother was there, and all the kids were sitting on her lap, crying.
Yeah. And Grandma, Catherine, your mum, is looking after now. How's she getting on with the extra responsibility? I mean, she's an elderly woman now.
Oh yes, but she's very young in heart and spirit. She's doing a wonderful job. They have their cousins with them that are there with them, and my mother's doing a great job with them. She's having fun, actually. Yes. She loves children around. It keeps her young. Yeah. She's always had that.
Yeah. Was it a surprise that she was made the guardian of the children? Because I know you've got an older sister, haven't you?
Yes,
who Reby, I think, who has 41 years of marriage and plenty of children. Who's been a great success at that. Was it a surprise that she wasn't given the children?
No, my mother. That was perfect. That was fine.
Paris particularly has been a little bit outspoken, hasn't she? About, I mean, the press have picked it up. I mean, you'll correct me, I'm sure, but she was worried about how much pressure and stress her dad was under ahead of the tour, and the people who seem to exert influence, over him. Was she thinking that he's working too hard?
Paris, she loved her father dearly,
sure.
and she constantly wrote him notes on a continuous basis. And at the hospital, she was telling me that they were working him too hard. She kept saying, to Latoya, they worked him too hard. They worked him too hard. She kept saying that to me. And she said he wasn't getting enough rest or anything. She was very motherly-like. And Michael had told her a lot of things. He told her, it's so sad. He told her that one day I won't be here, so you have to be the mother for the children. So, and it just happened so quickly. And she was telling me all these things at the hospital. A little girl that can recall all those things during a time like that it was touching at the same time, but sad.
Yeah, very, very sad. I mean, he was set to do, is it a 50 show tour in this country at the O2, which is an incredible number of shows. Do you think it would have been too much? Do you think it was the preparation?
No, it was too much. And actually, he had agreed to do 10 shows.
And then extra dates were added?
He had agreed to do 10 shows, and he did not know the extra dates were added. They sold so rapidly that they didn't really get a chance to ask him, and the next thing you know, there were 50 shows.
Is it fair to say that, you and perhaps the family as well are not delighted by the people that he used to take influence from, those people around him? I mean, can you give us a comment on that? But I know there's an investigation underway and it continues to happen, but is it fair to say you weren't comfortable with the company that he was keeping?
No, we were not, and it's not that the company that he was keeping, it's the people who surrounded themselves around Michael. Michael was in a position where very meek, very, very, very kind, and people would just barge their way into his life and in his circle, which was not a good thing to do.
Was he not able to look after himself? Could he not make that decision himself? Was he easily manipulated?
People controlled him. They controlled him, they did what they wanted, and it was very difficult for him to say no, no, no.
You must have seen this happening. Was there anything that you could do or say to Michael to change that situation?
It's very, very difficult because in situations such as that one, we've tried so many times to intervene. And it's not always that easy because they keep everybody at bay. They keep everyone away, actually. Everyone.
How did they do that?
By controlling. And I know because I have been in a controlling and abusive relationship, but by controlling him, controlling his thoughts, control what he does, not letting any, giving orders, not letting anyone through the gates, not letting anyone near security, things of that nature. And this way they have him and they control whatever he does. The phones, no phones in the house.
You suspect foul play. The investigation is still underway. Are you happy with the way the investigation is being conducted?
I think that they're doing an absolutely wonderful job with this. And you guys are going to get such just really, really different information and news that you're not even aware of right now. It's amazing what's really happening, how they're handling this and how they're really being very cautious about everything. And because of that, we're not able to really speak at liberty about it.
When do you think we're going to know more, Toya?
Probably within the next month or two.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Should we talk about a song that you've got coming out? This was it's called Home, isn't it?
It's called Home.
It's called Home. And tell us why you're releasing this.
Well, the song Home is actually released. The company decided to release the song Home, and because they decided to release the song, I decided to give all the proceeds to one of Michael's charities, which is AIDS for LA. AIDS Project LA. Yes, every penny from that is going to that charity that Michael had. And this is a song that I wrote about maybe 5 years ago with my partner, Jeffrey Phillips. We wrote this, and it was very fitting. It's about the family being together in show business. It's about Michael and the whole bit of just how we missed each other and how we had to part because show business put us in different directions. But the base and foundation is always, no matter what you do, it's always home.
Sure. Absolutely.
So that can be downloaded on iTunes and the video as well.
Okay.
And the proceeds go there.
You're here in the UK, you're here getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Mobos last week.
Yes.
And is it true there'll be a tribute concert for Michael in this country next year?
There is supposed to be, yes. I don't know exactly the date, but there is supposed to be, definitely. Yes.
Okay, well that's something to look forward to. The legions of fans that Michael has in this country.
Indeed.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
The very best of luck to you and the family as you pursue this process that you're going through.
Well, thank you. What a sweet show.
You like this show?
Yes.
Very glad you're back.
See you tomorrow then.
Yes.
Have a cup of tea.
Thank you.
Still